Hello, and welcome to Deliberate Practice with Jamie and Amy. I'm Jamie.
I'm Amy.
I am a family therapist based in Philly, and I am part of the Sentio team.
And I am a relational therapist. I work with individuals and couples also in Philly, and also part of the Sentio team bringing us here today.
Great. So today we have another exercise from the CBT book, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. And this is exercise 7, working with emotions. So this, when when we gave a shot at the first CBT exercise, well, it's a little rocky. Didn't really feel like my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Is it similar for you as well?
Yeah, I'm going to be the therapist today, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I think CBT feels important and helpful, and I also feel rusty in it. So I think it'll be good to practice.
Yes, definitely. And I think this will be a good skill to working with emotions, particularly within CBT, just to kind of give us an idea of how to have those more, emotion-based conversations in CBT, particularly when there's some avoidance of some strong emotions, which is something that I encounter all the time in family-based therapy.
And in myself, just
yeah. Love that self-disclosure, Amy. Thank you for that. Yeah, I think we can all relate to some of our own, avoidance of difficult emotions. All the more reason for us to want to turn to therapists that are comfortable kind of taking us to these more challenging places.
Totally.
So let's take a look at the skill criteria for this exercise. We have 4 criteria. The first is empathically inquire about clients' emotional experience. The second, actively listen and maintain a supportive tone to clients' emotional disclosures. Third, we have model tolerance of affect and an approach orientation to clients' strong emotional experience. And the last criteria, use psychoeducation to support the importance of clients experiencing versus avoiding their emotion and the maladaptive consequences of negative reinforcement.
So great. I will be the therapist today. Jamie, you'll be the client. Dive into some emotions, working with emotions. I feel ready just to give it a go.
All right, just jumping right in. I don't think I'm ready to work on this today.
I hear that it feels overwhelming to you. And I wonder if we stick with it, if it feels available to stick with some of what's coming up, if that'll be helpful in the long run.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I could hear the apprehension in your tone at the end. But I think you did a really great job of meeting the first 3 criteria. Kind of the way that you in the beginning, had that sort of tone of like, is this what you're experiencing? You definitely met criteria 2 in listening and maintaining that supportive tone. And you really had modeled tolerance of affect and met criteria 3. Criteria 4, that's one I think maybe if we give it a second try, I think we can, you can maybe put in just a little bit more psychoeducation, some element of that in there. How does that sound for you?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Okay. Great. We can give it another try. I'll start whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
I don't think I'm ready to work on this today.
I hear that. It maybe feels a bit overwhelming to talk about this today. And, you know, oh man, I almost had it. Then I was like, nope,
Oh,
it is gone.
just like I could like see it leave. Like I was like, oh, there it goes, right? Whoop, just clear out of Amy's head.
Yeah, I was trying to get the psychoeducation part that I don't feel so well versed in, but that's okay. Let's try it again.
I don't think I'm ready to work on this today.
I hear that it feels really difficult to talk about this today, and I'm wondering if it feels available to stick with it with me in this space. Often avoiding something avoids really feeling and processing those emotions. And so maybe together we can tiptoe towards feeling those emotions and really working through them. How does that sound?
Great. So let's check back with the criteria on that one. Criteria 1, yes, you did a good job meeting criteria 1 and inquiring about my emotional experience. Criteria 2, definitely felt that you were actively listening and maintaining a supportive tone. Criteria 3, feel as though you really modeled tolerance of that discomfort and of that emotion that I didn't really want to, explore. And criteria 4, I definitely think you did a better job of meeting criteria 4 and providing that psychoeducation. I could see it seemed like keeping it concise was maybe the biggest challenge. Definitely met all criteria though, so great job. Do you feel like trying that one again, or do you want to move on to a little bit more challenging one?
I think let's move on.
I think I'm done with therapy. Things aren't that bad, and maybe I don't want to change. I've been dealing with this my whole life and I've managed.
Yeah. And I'm really hearing that you are feeling like you're done with therapy. Maybe this isn't helpful. And I wonder if I'm hearing some avoidance of the stuff we've been working on lately. That it's easier to just, avoid it altogether because it's hard. And I think, what we know about avoiding those emotions are that it doesn't give us a chance to really work through them and to get to the change I think you're talking about. And I wonder if here together, you might be open to feeling some of what you're bringing in today.
Awesome. Before we go to the criteria, I want to know how that felt for you.
Long-winded. It feels a little hard to stick with the criteria, especially with this statement where they're like, I don't want to do therapy. I tried to get to the avoidance part.
Yeah. And looking at the criteria, I think you met all 4 criteria. Met criteria 1, staying in my emotional, inquiring about my emotional experience. Criteria 2, actively listening to that and maintaining that supportive tone. Criteria 3, modeling tolerance. I think that was really important because I was clearly, avoiding and wanting to distance myself from whatever it was that we were going to discuss. And you really modeled tolerance of staying in that space. And then psychoeducation, I think you did a good job of providing me with that psychoeducation on avoidance and why it could be beneficial for me to, to continue therapy and to continue having the conversation. So I thought that was a good job of meeting all 4 criteria. So, how'd you feel about that one? Do you want to try it again, or do you want to try a little bit harder exercise?
think it was okay. I think let's move on. I'll try a different one.
Okay, great. I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack or faint.
Okay. Okay. I hear you're feeling panicked in this moment. A lot's coming up for you right now, Jamie. And I wonder if it's okay to sit with some of that while I'm here with you in this safe space. I know it can feel really intense, and sometimes letting some of those feelings come up actually helps relieve some of them.
Yes.
Did I get it? Oh,
Oh,
goodness.
third time's a charm. Okay. I will go back to the criteria. Criteria 1, yes, empathically inquiring about my emotional experience. Totally met that. Actively listening and maintaining a supportive tone, fully. Criteria 2, met. Criteria 3, modeling tolerance of that affect, that emotion that I was experiencing. Particularly with criteria 3, I think you did an awesome job with that, because I was coming into you with panic and you still modeled tolerance of that panic. That was incredible. And criteria 4, psychoeducation, you totally met criteria 4. That was definitely your strongest delivery of psychoeducation. And it felt informative for me as the client and didn't feel like jargony. It didn't feel like you were reading a textbook. It felt like really organic and really natural with the context of the other things that you said. That was just an awesome response based on criteria and based on my experience as the client. Loved it. So with that one, do you think you want to try it again, or do you think you want to check out maybe the example response for that?
Let's check out the example response.
Okay. I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack or faint.
And the book sample response says, "This is hard work. Let's sit with those feelings and anchor into your breath. I'm here with you. Let's stick with this and try not to fight it."
So as the therapist, how was this exercise working with emotions? How was this for you?
It was hard. I think especially the psychoeducation piece felt hard to really nail. But I think by the end, I kind of got in the flow, right? Of like, there's a lot of avoidance that comes up around really strong emotions. And as the therapist, gently, validatingly helping clients stay with that emotion and then explaining why, right? Like, not just like, this is hard, keep feeling it. Like, why? But then having that psychoeducation component of like, here's why this is helpful, and giving some grounding to, yeah, why I'm saying like, hey, let's try to stick with this. So yeah, I don't know that it's my favorite skill that we've done, to be honest, and it was a little hard, but yeah, by the end, I think I kind of got into the flow of it.
Yeah, I mean, as the client, significant improvements between your first response and the first client statement, and then your response in the last client statement. I really felt both like you were with me in that emotion, and I felt like I could stay in it, even though it was clearly terrifying. And I felt like I understood why it would be important to sit with those feelings. And it didn't feel like you were pushing me to feel those feelings, which I think is a really important piece.
Mm-hmm. And I like how you said, like, you felt like I was in it with you, right? And I think criteria 3 of like modeling tolerance for that. It's not just like, oh, Jamie, feel that sadness, right? But like, this is safe. I'm here with you. Like, can we feel it together? I think that I did appreciate that part of the skill, of like, we're in this feeling together, even though it's really hard.
Yeah, and that totally translated with me, or through me as the client. So
I'm glad.
great job, Ames.
Thank you.